beautiful of all, as the music and chanting, it just echoed off the walls and within our spirits. Whatever happened within this ceremony was to determine our fate, but I didn't realize this at the time. All I know is that when the ceremony was over, Don Alejandro disappeared. It was one of the elders, Rufino, who asked us to continue into the cave and who then led us deeper into this darkness. It seemed to last forever. Then a third time, we entered into a part of the cave system that had another piece of the ceiling that had fallen in, and a beam of sunlight revealed kind of a roundish room that was huge, but it felt cozy at the same time. What I mean by that is the room actually had these giant rocks in it all over, and when you were sitting in there, you felt like you were in a smaller part of the room. It was these rocks that also made me and others feel kind of peculiar. I looked around to a woman who was standing right next to me, and she appeared to be deeply concerned about what she was seeing. She said to me, "Drunvalo, look at these rocks. They look like animals and birds. These rocks look like they're alive." I looked carefully at one that was near me, and it looked exactly like someone had carved into it a 6-foot iguana. It really did look real, right down to the tiny details. The rock underneath it hid the shape of a gorilla, and while the rock next to it appeared like a young male monkey. On the walls were human faces, Mayan faces that seemed to be emerging right out of the solid rock wall. And everywhere, every rock or wall was alive with something that seemed to be coming straight out of the solid rock. It took my breath away. I didn't know what to say to my friend as it was very unusual, but I felt what she was feeling. This was not normal. This was not normal reality in this place. There was an energy that just permeated the very air we were breathing. Then I noticed that Don Alejandro, who had disappeared before, was sitting on a small granite ledge about 15 feet up the side of one of the cave walls. My first thought was, how did he get up there? Because it just seemed kind of impossible. And it was the moment when our entire group was becoming aware that Don Alejandro was observing us. We all became quiet, waiting for Don Alejandro to speak to us or to say something. Instead, he called for Rufino to climb up to him. He did so, but only so that his head was just level with this rock ledge where Don Alejandro was sitting. And then Don Alejandro reached into this rock ledge that was evidently filled with water and poured a handful of this water over Rufino's head. He did this 3 times. I had no idea what was going on. Then Tata Alejandro asked one of the world group to come up to the rock, and he performed the same ceremony with him. We were all just watching, what was going on. Then he asked each one of us to come up, one at a time. At that moment, I'll never forget this. It was just like simultaneously, we all knew in our hearts what was happening. Don Alejandro was performing a Mayan water ceremony on each of us. We were being initiated in some way, and the energy of the room went deep inside of our hearts of every one of us that was there. Whatever Tato was looking for from us, he must have found it. I started to cry. I couldn't help it. Later, when we were back in a small Guatemalan town, about to have dinner, Don Alejandro, Elizabeth, his wife, and Rufino were sitting at a table together, and they motioned for me to come over and sit with them. Don Alejandro looked into my eyes and said, and this is a quote, "We have asked 2 other groups to come from all over the world to have this ceremony with us to complete our prophecy, but they could never pass the tests that Pachamama presented to them. But I want to tell you now that this group has more than passed all of our expectations. You are the ancestors that we have been waiting for." I didn't know what he meant, but he began to cry, and Rufino also began to cry. And Elizabeth, in her female strength, just looked at me and said, "Thank you. Please let all of the sacred group know that they are the ones that we have been waiting for. And now our prophecy can be completed." This was all too much for me. I couldn't help it. I just began to cry too. We just became a big table of babies. change subjects here. The hidden positive side of the Mayan prophecy. The Maya see that a long cycle is ending, both their 5,200-year cycle and the precession of the equinoxes at 26,000 years. And they predict that the old world, the one we live within now, is about to disintegrate from natural causes. This means that everything that we now know as normal will dramatically change. It is this part of the Mayan prophecy that the world is focused on. The idea that the poles of the earth are going to shift and humanity will almost be destroyed. It has even been termed, as we said, the doomsday of 2012. But at the same time, exact same time, a new cycle begins. And this cycle is an extraordinary one this time around. I was recently in Colombia, in the Sierra Nevada mountains, living with the Kogi and the Arhuacos Mamas. They believe that there are 9 worlds altogether. And yes, we are in the 4th world. That's what they believe, the same thing. And we will enter the 5th world, just the same way that the Mayans believe. And I said to them, so we still have 5 more worlds to enter to reach the highest level of consciousness. I'll never forget, they turned around, they all looked at me and they said, no, you don't understand, room below. Everything in life is to achieve balance. The 5th world is in the middle of 4 worlds on either side. It is the perfect balance within the universe. There is no higher world. The Maya say something similar. They say that the next world, which they call the 6th sun, is a world where humanity reaches a new level of consciousness and that we achieve this new level very, very quickly. As the new cycle begins, which also begins within the end of time, duality consciousness, or good and bad consciousness, disappears, and a unity consciousness becomes normal for humankind. The human ego no longer exists, and we see each other as parts of each other, ourselves. In Maya, when they greet each other, they say, in Lakesh, which literally means, you are another me, and I am another you. This is a hint of the world we're about to enter. Further, the Maya predict that the human quarantine to this solar system that has existed for a long time now will be lifted. And as it is lifted, humanity realizes that the stars and all life everywhere are interconnected in pure consciousness. Our human potential will reach levels that at this moment would seem absolutely impossible for us. But this new humanity will become normal and accepted as the truth, according to the Maya. In other words, the Maya predict that humankind will no longer be involved in finance, politics, war, food, oil, etc., and that we will become one with the Creator and be able to manifest all things. We become co-creators along with the Creator. If this is true, then don't worry when you watch the movie 2012 showing the earth being destroyed. They are only showing part of the Mayan prophecy. Remember this time, and remember the Maya, and know that what is coming is beautiful and sacred, something to celebrate and be grateful for. As Mara Baba once said, don't worry, be happy. This is definitely the best approach for life at this time. Breathe from your heart. Life is not what it seems, not even close to what most of our parents believed to be true. We live in a dream that our mind is crystallized into what we call reality. We believe it is fixed and can only change according to the laws of physics. The Maya believe you will soon know a part of yourself that is so ancient that it goes beyond the stars and planets as fixed worlds. They are just a dream also, and just like a dream upon wakening, you realize that it was nothing but light, or better still, nothing but pure consciousness. Is it time for you to remember who you really are, which is far beyond a normal human being? In Lakesh. I'd like to, after reading some of them, and I can't even read all of them, I'll do my best to try to answer these. There's a lot of questions here that have nothing to do with what we're talking about today, and I can't answer any of those questions now. There isn't time. First thing I'd like to say is to, from reading these, is to begin by saying that these questions are coming from all over the world. I mean, everywhere. And we all have different ideas about spirituality and life and these kinds of transitions. This is clear to me as I move around the world that not everybody agrees with me, and I don't agree with everyone else, and I'm simply giving you my understanding of what the Mayans are saying. I'm doing this for the Mayan people, and it's simply one approach to all of this, and there are others. I do understand this. There is no reason to be concerned about this, even though it's easy to say. Yes, this is a big event if this is true. And I do believe this is true, but we will find out. Maybe it isn't true. Maybe it's just fantasy. But we will find out. We don't have to wait a very long time. It's clear from some of the questions that I guess I wasn't very clear in there. One of the questions was from Maz from Canada, who says, first 2007, then 2012, and now you say as late as 2015. A skeptic might say you are backpedaling on very specific questions that doesn't appear to be taking place. I thought I was clear that what the Mayans are saying is that there is a window from 2007 to 2015, and that their belief is that these things will begin sometime in that window, not on a specific date, and especially probably not on the actual date of when the calendars reach zero, which is on December 21st, 2012. One of the things that I see over and over and over here is how should we be during this time? Should we move away from the coastline? Should we put food in the ground and all these kinds of things and prepare on a physical level? I don't really believe that any physical preparation is going to help anybody in this. This is an inward preparation that is necessary. And sure, you can do those things if you feel you want to. But really, what's necessary is a change within our essence inside of ourselves. In a real simple way, it's moving from polarity consciousness into unity consciousness. This is what we need to do. And that is really the only thing that I see that we need to do, is to step back from the way that we have been for the last 13,000 years and into the way that we are about to be, or once were a long time ago, before the fall. And so it is exactly how to do that. Different spiritual traditions have different ideas about this all over the world, whether it's Tibetans or Hindus, Sufis, Taoists. The ideas are different in that. You should follow your heart and that which you already believe in. In fact, if you're a materialistic person, forget it all and just continue making money. That is, if that works for you, that works for you. I really believe that every single last person alive is going to be fine through all of this, one way or the other. There's no reason for fear in this. I don't feel any fear. I'm not concerned. In fact, I feel excitement, and that we are coming to the end of these cycles, and that the pain of thousands of years is about to be over with, and that a new way of existing is about to begin for humanity. This is a time of great beauty. Nothing to be concerned about on those kinds of levels. There's another question here from Rito from Germany, who says, thank you for the availability of this live show. Many shamans tell about the importance of the 15th of August 2009 till the 20th of July 2010, that it's an intense energy time. Yes, I have been hearing this from not only from the Mayans, but from tribes all over the world, as far away as New Zealand, and from practically everywhere. And whether or not it's true, we will find out very soon, because August 15th is just next month. There is something that I believe will begin directly after that time. I'm heading for New Zealand with the Waitaha and the Maori, And we are beginning on August 8th and will continue through until August 19th. And that there are ceremonies that are beginning at that time that will indicate that it would, if what they say, which I cannot repeat on this air right now, if what they say is true, then we are, something incredible is about to happen as early as next month. But, and all the way back into May, June, and July of 2010, simply look into the astrological, look into the stars. You can see it for yourself, that there is an intense period approaching us. Whether or not that's the time, I don't know. And the Mayans will not say. And so, again, follow your heart. Believe in yourself. Trust in yourself. And move in any way you know how from polarity consciousness into unity consciousness. The sacred place of the heart, from my traditions and what I know, this is the approach. To move from the brain into the heart. And the brain is polarity consciousness, the heart is unity consciousness. And to find a way to move into that level of consciousness so that you can reconnect your own self with yourself, because we have been separated from ourselves for some time. This is what I believe here. And I'm just one person. I'm not that important. You know, I happen to be standing here talking to you, but there are many teachers all over the world that are saying many things. And this one is Nicola from Sweden, and I'm just picking them out. She says, is physical death necessary to reach into the fourth dimension? Which is, the fourth dimension is one of the stepping stones into what the Mayans are speaking about, into the higher levels of consciousness. One way or another, from all of the spiritual traditions that I'm aware of, physical death or resurrection or ascension is what we are talking about here. Does it make any difference which one? I don't believe so personally. At this stage of the game right now, whether you die or you go through resurrection or you go through ascension is not going to matter. You still end up in exactly the same place, the same precise level within the fourth dimension. And this is where I believe that consciousness is going to rapidly change. And from there, we go on to levels that it's probably not appropriate to talk about right now. Let me grab some more, and we'll see where it says. She says, well, I think I answered this, but this is Anna out of Russia, and she says, what do you think about the possibility of an average man to survive during 2012 transition? Again, it's the same thing. Every single last person from my tradition says that we will all make it through. Some a little easier, some a little harder, but we all make it through. What we're about to go through is just almost exactly like childbirth. During childbirth, you might see a lot of pain taking place in the mother. You see blood from if somebody had never seen childbirth before, you might say, wow, this is a violent thing taking place. But the higher level of that is a new baby comes out into the world, a new birth begins. And we're in that same position right now. We are about to be born onto a new level of existence, a level of existence that does not have polarity within it. No more judging, no more pain, no more death, no more a lot of things. And this is a positive step into from human consciousness. We've been here for 13,000 years, and we're about to leave. And so I'll keep saying it, it's not a time of fear, it's a time of celebration. So many of these questions are around the material world. Grintomi, which is out of Hungary, says, does it make any sense to go ahead in the material world? I think this is a very important question. We have a responsibility to life, to all life everywhere, to God that lives within us, to do the very best we can in life. And every minute, every second, every nanosecond that we're alive gives us the opportunity to come closer to unity and to oneness and to understand and live the unity of life. And so, yes, it does. We continue to pay our bills. We continue to do everything just as though nothing was going on those kind of levels, so that we can continue with our lives so that as much time as possible, the amount of time that God has allotted us is lived fully and completely. And that last breath that we take, whether we die normally and has nothing to do with this or this triggers that for us, we will be prepared. Again, it's all about believing in yourself and trusting in yourself and knowing the unity of all life everywhere. Yes, this is a big step in the unfoldment of human consciousness, if the Mayans are correct, and Edgar Cayce is correct, and the scientists of the world are correct. But it's easy. You can do this. We can all do this. But the reason I'm here, though, is just to get you aware that something huge is happening on Earth. It's not life is business as usual. It's a big thing, and we need to prepare inwardly. I said this just a little while ago. We need to prepare inwardly. It doesn't mean you go out and you quit your job and you stop everything. It means that in your inner life, perhaps television is not the most important thing right now, even though that's what you're watching. That a deep inner study of who you are, who you truly are, and what life is really about, that now is the time to begin to search in a very deep way, not to just forget it. But if that's your journey, okay, that's perfect too. Because right now, like I said, every last person is going to find their way through all of this. But you do have a responsibility to life everywhere. Well, so many of these questions are the same thing over and over in different ways. This one is Maria. I'm not even sure what country she's from, but she's talking about, well, should we build straw bale houses or get rid of our car or live off the grid? Well, all these things might be good for the earth, but again, it comes back to an inner change is what we're about to get into. Meditation is the key, going within, understanding, remembering who you really are, and trusting in yourself. Well, this person is asking about the Waitaha prophecy out of New Zealand. I'm sorry, I can't talk about that right now. I have given my word to the Waitaha that I would not do this publicly. But the Waitaha prophecy is very, very similar. I can skirt around it a little bit. They say that next month, beginning in the next month, is an enormous shift in energy. So enormous that most people would never believe it. Whether it happens, we'll have to wait till next month to find out. But the Waitaha are very old. Where the Maya and the Hopi and the Kogi and the Arwakos and the Kanguamos and the Wiwas are from Atlantis, the Waitaha are from Lemuria, which is prior to Atlantis, and a lot older. And the Waitaha are a very important part of the ancient world connecting with the modern world, which is exactly what they are doing. They are asking us to come in there with over 100 people to begin to do ceremony that they also haven't done in thousands and thousands of years. And they are also preparing in a sacred, spiritual way, an inner way, for the changes that they know are about to happen, which is very similar to what we have just been talking about through the Maya, except they are very, very specific. and we'll just have to see. If they give me permission to talk about their prophecies, then I will do that. But until I get permission, I can't do it. This is one from Tan from Malaysia, who says, here's my question. On December 21st, 2012, I'm getting a lot of collaboration evidence of something happening at that specific point, as referenced by the I Ching reaching zero from Terence McKenna and the looking glass technology interoperability from David Wilcox. This is the precise date. What does the Mayans say about this time according to them, if indeed the change does happen from this date? Well, he might have sent this in before listening to the whole broadcast, I'm not sure. But yes, that date is precise. December 21st is exactly when the cycles line up and all these things happen. That can be seen even from the NASA understanding of all of these, of the calendars and everything. Again, it's not just the indigenous people, it's science also can see that this is a very incredibly precise moment in time. But the Mayans, again, I'll reiterate, they are saying that this that it is not, even though the cycles end exactly at that time, and the I Ching does come to zero except at that time, that the actual change in consciousness and the movement of events that begin with the magnetic poles and the physical poles shifting, it is the consciousness change that occurs directly after that, or during that possibly, that this is what is important. And exactly how that happens, I don't know, and neither do the Mayans, evidently. Don Alejandro was very clear about this. He said that they cannot predict, at this point, the precise moment when this huge change will occur, but that it is more than likely not going to occur on December 21st, 2012. It'll happen sometime in the window between 2007 and 2015. Somewhere in there is when this will occur. So it may come December 21st, 2012, nothing happens, because it might happen afterwards, according to the Maya. It could happen as late as 3 years afterwards. But they are convinced, the Waitaha are convinced, the Aboriginals in Australia, the Zulu in Africa, the Hopi and tribes all over the world that I'm familiar with, they are all convinced that this is going to happen. We have reached the end of this cycle, and we are going to move up into a new level of consciousness. This is a great thing. We should be celebrating it. But I don't have a name on this one. And I don't even know where it's coming from. It just says, Dear Drimvalo, all enlightened beings have said that truth is beyond these transient things, to move beyond the dual world and oneness, that ceremony, ritual, sacrifice, phenomena, siddhas, crystals, etc., however fascinating, are not it. Yes, I understand that. And that has been a problem throughout India in terms of the siddhas and the powers and the human potential of what takes place. And but ceremony, when I'm talking about ceremony as it is presented through the Mayan people and some of the other tribes, it is not about the crystals or the fire or the objects that they are using at those times. You could throw those things away. They could sit there with their eyes closed and use nothing. It is, again, it is about a consciousness change occurring within humanity at this time. And the truth is the only thing that really matters. And that truth is about to unfold on earth. I'm just here out of love for you and for all life everywhere, and trying to get you excited to begin to search within yourself at this time. We're so close to the end of this cycle, And again, those things that you saw on the screen and the crystals and the crystal skulls and all that stuff was related to the Mayan experience. But it's true. What you just said there, whoever you were, though I don't have the name, I'm sorry, I agree with you on that. And so I think that from looking at these, this is about all I can say at this time. I hope that you understand that that this was not intended to trigger you into fear or for you to begin to do things that are crazy in the sense of stopping your jobs and all these kinds of things. No, continue with your life. This is the most important thing. You don't know if this is going to happen, and I don't either. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. But it's just like anything else. We have made predictions all the time where we predict that the sun will come up at a very specific moment tomorrow morning. That is a prediction. That is not necessarily going to happen. But because it's happened so many times before, we could say, yep, it's going to come up at 5:32 tomorrow morning, and it does. Well, the Mayans have seen this happen twice before. They know we're back at this moment, and they know the kinds of changes that have occurred before. And so we're just here to kind of wake you up out of your sleep and for you to get serious about inner meditation and inner work, because this is more than likely the sun is going to rise, and this cycle is going to begin. So I guess I'm going to end this at this time. For some of you who may be interested in actually watching these ceremonies of the Mayans more carefully, and this is the only reason we've done this, is because we have put this, the entire ceremonies and everything that took place in Guatemala was put onto a DVD at the request of the Mayans, which was amazing to me because they usually never allow you to film anything. But this DVD, The Ancient Wisdom of the Maya, you can go on to www.onelotus, L-O-T-U-S, it's OneLotus.net, and on there you can purchase this if you wish, if you're interested in just watching what actually happened in Guatemala. And there was another thing, I forgot what it was. Oh yes, I remember. This is actually in two parts. This first part, we simply talked about the Mayan prophecy and what they are saying and the timing of the cycles and all these other kinds of things. But there is something else that's been going on for over 13,000 years on Earth, and also associated with the ancient tribes and cultures of the world, that is incredible and amazing and very, very positive, that is occurring on Earth right now. And we will be giving another broadcast, which is called The Birth of a New Humanity. And when you see this, you'll begin to see the beauty that is unfolding around us at this moment. And so I understand that this first broadcast is a little shaky in a way, but when you see this one, you'll really begin to understand that life is beautiful. And we live in the most incredible time. And so with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I love you. I wish us all the best in the changes that are about to come. And Lakesh.